What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hope y'all are having a great morning so far. We actually had a good night's sleep. Drew woke up around 2:30, put him in the bed. He went right back to sleep. So we had good sleep. Eric and Drew are still sleeping. So, thank goodness. Grateful for that. Very, very grateful. So, hope y'all are having a great weekend, a great start to your weekend last evening. Busy day today. NFL playoffs start today at 11 a.m. today. LSU Basketball starts their conference schedule. LSU against... excuse me. LSU is at Tennessee. So, I'm excited about this one, man. I think LSU's got a great chance to get the conference slate started off and sort of exercise some of the demons of the early season here, where they struggled to close some games. So, and you also got two games today. You got the AFC games today. So I'm pretty excited about this, man. I think Buffalo wins in Houston. I really like with Will Fuller doubtful for Houston. I like matching up Trey White on Hopkins and saying, all right, see if you can beat me. I do like Deshaun Watson better than Josh Allen, and so that seems silly, but I'll take that Buffalo defense going on the road. I just think they've been a more solid team, so I'll take Buffalo, man. And then in the nightcap, I like the Patriots. I know Tennessee is a trendy pick, and I might even take Tennessee with the points if I were betting, because it's 5.5. But anyway, I think you'll see a defensive game in the first one, and then it's just really hard for me to pick against Brady and Belichick in the playoffs. So excited, man. We got a good day. Got a good day of action. LSU practices again today. Practice yesterday. Had some media availability Friday evening after practice. So kind of inching closer, man. Inching closer to a week from Monday for the Natty. All right, let's see. Let's say some good mornings here. Kevin Gleason, good morning. Justin Roberts, Kyle Lofton, James Tyrone, Atlanta Sconin. What's up, man? Let's see. Jason Aguilar, good morning. Stephen Miller, good morning. Huge day of sports today. Let's get it. I agree, man. I'm excited about today. So, Carl Ritter, good morning. Matthew Rogelio, Charlie Gale, Andrew Brister, Scone. I guess it's Geo Scone. Who wins the 4 divisional games in your opinion? I guess you mean the wild card games. Divisional round will be next weekend. But Terrio and I made our picks yesterday, so I like Buffalo in the first game. By the way, I heard Bruce Marshall say this on Jimmy and Charles' show yesterday. If you're betting, he said his favorite play of the whole weekend was the under in that Buffalo-Tennessee game. So just something worth considering. I think he had it 20-17 maybe, or 21-17. Anyway, I think he had the total around 37 or 39. I think the total in the game is 44-45. So he said his favorite play of the whole weekend was the under in the first game. So I may go with Bruce on that one. But I do like Buffalo to win. I'm going to take New England at home. I think the Saints win easily against Minnesota. I just think that the Saints are just a much better team. Sometimes that's just the reality. You get these matchups, and you do have a large disparity. And the Saints have been on the wrong end of that at points throughout their history. But this is one where the Saints are a much better team and shouldn't be playing this weekend. They just ended up in the wild card round because you had 3 teams sitting there 13-3, and they lose tiebreaker. So, and then with the Philly game, it's probably counterintuitive to pick against the home team, especially with Seattle having to go across the country. But man, I'm going to take Russell Wilson in that spot. I'm going to take Russell Wilson to figure out a way to just score more than Philly. I know it's not been a great year for Seattle, but I'm going to take Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in the 4th game. So I made it to about halftime last night of the Pelicans game. Pelicans were out in LA against the Lakers, and at one point, Anthony Davis had this absurd like alley-oop tomahawk dunk, and I flipped off the TV and went to bed. Saw this morning AD had 40 in the game. Lakers won. I'm just like, I don't care. Whatever. Hate you. AD had 46 actually. Whatever. That made me just so sad. Like, I'm gonna get it in some respects. Like, do you wanted a better opportunity, okay? But I'm like, man, it's just it's not gonna mean as much. Like, you're Kevin Durant. I mean, you went and he went and joined LeBron to go try to, whatever. Never mind. I don't care. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Joseph Fuselier. Notice the Patriots always get the nighttime playoff games. The Saints are always at noon. Sometimes maybe 3 when the dome isn't as loud. I disagree with that, Joseph. That's not how it always works, and that's usually done for TV. So the networks are going to put the Patriots in primetime because they're a huge national brand. That makes sense. And you never put the West Coast teams on at noon because that's 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's why that happens that way as well. It's why New Orleans and the East Coast teams typically play in the first TV window. So it has nothing to do with, not getting a premium window so the dome isn't as loud or whatever the case may be. That's just not how it works. I remember back in 2011, the Saints played in the wild card round. They had to play Detroit at home in the wild card round. That was a night game. So sometimes how it rolls. So the AFC is on Saturday and the NFC is on Sunday. And so the Sunday windows are the noon and the 3 o'clock windows. So either, kind of take your pick. So, and I do think that it makes sense if you just think about it, because Seattle is a West Coast team. You put them on at 3, because if you put Seattle, Philly on at noon, that's 1 Eastern, that's 10 a.m. On the West Coast. So it makes sense. You put them on at 3 or 3:30, or 4:30 Eastern, 3:30. That's 1:30. That's lunchtime on the West Coast. It makes sense how they did it. I mean, I have no problem with it at all. It makes sense how they did it. Brian Andy Penton, good morning. Matt from Spokane, Washington, my 18-wheeler headed to Chicago. Be safe out there, Brian. Safe on the road, man. Glad we can keep you company for a little bit. Stephen Miller, LSU -1. No kidding, okay. I didn't see a line on it yesterday. That's a basketball game. I didn't see a line on it yesterday, but it looked like a coin flip. So that makes sense. LSU being a road favorite is a bit odd to me, but man, if they end up in one of those games where it's, man, who makes a play at the end, let's see if they can finish. I love, man, if you missed it yesterday, Will Wade, in his media availability before the team left, said he compared Tremont Waters to Mariano Rivera. He's like, Tremont was our Mariano Rivera. Like, you just knew he was going to close. And, they're struggling to find that guy right now, and it showed against VCU, and it showed against Utah State, and, their inability to finish some games late. So if they end up in that same situation, I'm curious to see who gets the ball. My guess is Skyler. Man, they really desperately need Javonte Smart to start playing better. And Javonte's like breakout moment last year was against Tennessee, when Tennessee was number 1 in the PMAC and Tremont was out with the concussion, and Javonte balled out, man. He was awesome. So he's got to find that again this year. However they do it, they got to push that right button. Jeremy Aldridge, good morning. Brandon DeVille. LSU Basketball got the transfer from Georgetown, who's from Louisiana. Good pickup for the basketball team. Right, so he won't play till next year, obviously, for the class of 20. But, yeah, 6'7" forward, went to Madison Prep, signed with Georgetown. Averaged 8 and 6 at Georgetown. So be a good player, for sure. Be a good add a veteran player like that. Clayton Wolf, good morning. Kevin, why are you whispering? Erica and Drew were sleeping in the room right there, so I'm just being a little less demonstrative. Can y'all hear me okay? Hope y'all can hear me okay. Joey Painich, good morning. Tyler Hales, good morning. To Comic-Con New Orleans to be with my fellow nerds. Say hello to T-Bob for me. I have no doubt that T-Bob will be there today. It just fits. That will be on brand for T-Bob. Pete Giardino, good morning. Carl Ritter. I like the Titans over the Pats. I like Buffalo, even though it's hard to go against Brady and Bill. Carl, I just can't go against Brady and Belichick. I played that game too many times. But it is worth noting that the Patriots have never won the Super Bowl in a year where they had to play in the wild card round. So maybe this is a year where Tennessee trips them up. And Tennessee has obviously been a different team over the last 9 games since Ryan Tannehill became their starter. Or 10 games, I guess, because they started 2-4. And they finished 7-2. But they got the NFL's leading rusher as well, Derrick Henry. So yeah, man, I think Tennessee has a really good chance. You're gonna ask me, am I gonna take Tom Brady in the playoffs or Ryan Tannehill? I'm gonna take the guy that's got more playoff wins than the rest of the playoff field combined. Just give me that guy at home. Give me that guy. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it up, Chuck. Brady Beacom, good morning. Jason Aguilar. Let's see, I've been watching Bryce Young, number 1 quarterback. The kid is great. His championship game, 17-17, 44-7. Wish we were getting him. SMH. Let me know where he's going. But cool. LSU's going to be fine, man. Joseph Manzella, good morning. Let's see. Dad in Nashville. How about that, Dad? Nashville Sconin. Sean Hinderberg, good morning. Kathy Malossa, Michael Castello, Lenny Moss. Hey, Lenny. It's cross street. Hey, Aunt Mary, good morning. Dan Ducote, great time to be a Tiger fan. Has there been a better run than now with football, basketball, and baseball? Dan, I remember I think this was 06, we kind of had a similar conversation because that 06, 07 kind of time frame, if I remember correctly, men's and women's basketball both went to the Final Four. Football won the Sugar Bowl over Notre Dame, and Jamarcus became the number 1 pick. Baseball, that was a time when they were not good. That was the end of the smoke era. So baseball, no bueno. Softball went to the Women's College World Series, and if I'm not mistaken, that was the year they were like 1 game away from the championship. I think maybe they had to like beat Arizona or UCLA twice. I can't remember exactly how it played out, but it was when they had Christian Smith and Emily Turner as the pitchers. Anyway, my point is that was a time where I remember we had a similar conversation like this, where across the board everything was just it was just an amazing year. It's and we were asking that question: have they ever had a run like this? But man, everybody's run comes to an end because you fast forward a little bit, and then 2 years later, John Brady got fired. LSU wins the title in 07. Then 08 was a terrible, the worst year of the Miles era. Women's basketball kind of started a decline. Anyway, so point is, all good things come to an end, man. So enjoy it. But to answer your question, I think that this is probably the time. I think older fans could probably point to some spots in the 80s, like 86. 86, of course, LSU went to the Final Four. Bertman got LSU to its first College World Series. LSU won the SEC in football. So, there have been some spots throughout history where LSU's had runs like this, but simultaneously SEC basketball champions. Baseball made a super regional. Gymnastics was national runner-up. Football is now playing for a national title. All within this calendar year. It's a great run. David Furr, good morning. Jerry Delucky, good morning. Let's see, I think LSU goes to Thompson Bowling and gets the W. I hope you're right, Dave. It's a great opportunity, man. And I said it yesterday, but I would rather have Tennessee now than at the end of the season, because Tennessee, losing Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield and that whole group from a year ago, I'd rather catch them early, especially on the road, than later in the season when they kind of figure things out and get better. So, anyway. By the way, shout out to Brock as always. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They are tagged in the post. So they're right there, tagged. So if you could like the Brock page, that's always a huge help. And of course, if you need an orthopedist, they're the best. So go see them. And they got the after hours clinic. It's open today. So, you're running around, maybe hooping, you twist your ankle. Don't go to the ER. Go to Brock. They can get you checked out. X-rays, all that stuff. They're at the after hours clinic. Kelvin Price, Blake McGraw, good morning. Stephen Miller, hey, how cool was it that the Ohio U players were interviewed and congratulated Joe Burrow and said they would be a NOLA to cheer on the Tigers? I didn't see that, but that is very cool. I will go look that up. Luke Blaylock, what's up, Luke? Good morning, man. Been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Jeff McKithen, what's up, my dude? Kevin Gleason, Janet Anderson. Hey, Tracy McCord, good morning. Johnny Englert, Kelly Gross, Bo Major. I'm sure I'll see many of y'all this morning. Tracy, who just popped on there, that's Carly's dad. So today is Carly's funeral over at St. Jean Vianney. And visitation is from 9 to noon. And then, 9 to 1, excuse me. And then the funeral mass starts at 1. So I'm sure it's going to be packed, but it'll be a great celebration of life. So maybe, hopefully see a lot of y'all there today. Let's see. Ulan Price, good morning. Buddy Legnon, good morning. Let's see, Jeff, appreciate the on-demand tip. Made for a quick commute. Got it. So Jeff messaged me yesterday. Jeff manages Palace Cafe on Canal. I assume lives on the North Shore because he said he had to go across the lake. So he asked me if there's a way he could listen to AFR on the way home. Yes, AFR on demand at 1045ESPN.com or on the 1045 ESPN app, or you can watch on demand on the Watch at 1045 app. Kevin Gleason, good morning. Craig Schilling, Matt, who you got in the Throwback Metro Conference game, Tulane versus Southern Miss? I have not seen either team play all year. I do like Willie Fritz and kind of pulling for Justin McMillan. I mean, I don't think anyone would ever mistake me for a Tulane fan, especially being a kid from New Orleans. Like, I came up hating Tulane, so I don't cheer for Tulane. I guess some of that has sort of subsided just because they haven't been good for so long. But I just don't cheer for Tulane. I guess my dad taught me right in that respect. But I am. If you ask me who I think will win, I'd pick Tulane. I do pull for Justin McMillan. I hope he has success. Keith Beard, Scott Belgard, Dale Broussard, good morning. Michael, I turned the Pelicans game on after that crazy dunk. Thought Pels played tough. Hopeful that when Zion returns and gets his legs game ready, they should be tough out the rest of the season. I agree with you, Michael. And the amazing thing, and I didn't check the standings after the games yesterday, but no, going in yesterday, there were 4 games out of the 8 seed in the West. So, with 50 games remaining in the season, you're going to get Zion back basically for half the season. Let's see if you can improve by 8 games over the second half of the season. If you can, you'll be right there in the mix for the playoffs. So, Corey Messina, good morning. Kelly Presley, good morning. Tim Saunier, the game is in Philly, Matt. I know the game's in Philly, but Tim, what I'm saying is for TV purposes. For TV purposes, you want the game on at a more watchable time than 10 a.m. Not many people in Seattle or the West Coast, I would assume. Like, how many times are you up watching football at 10 a.m.? Nobody plays football at 10 a.m. That's why. So we're talking about, for those who maybe just jumped on board, someone said, you notice how the Saints have to play at noon instead of at night, and where the crowd won't be as loud. And I'm telling you, like, that's not why it's done. They consider TV audiences, and you don't want to put Saints Vikings on in prime time because that's going to be a blowout. Many people assume that's going to be a blowout. It's the least appealing of the 4 games. You obviously want the Patriots on in prime time tonight, and then the games tomorrow. You've got Saints Vikings, which are both in the Central Time Zone. Then you've got a West Coast team playing on the East Coast, so you'd rather have that be the later game to benefit the West Coast audience, so you can pull them in. That's why. I'm not saying, like, I know where the game is, but you're considering television. That's why I said that's why West Coast games are never played, are always in the afternoon window, not in the early window on Sunday, because that would be 10 a.m. on the West Coast. They're not going to play games then. It's all about TV, man. Arthur Coco, Luis Alama, good morning. Brandon DeVille. Trey White this year has 599 plays in coverage, no TDs allowed, and 6 interceptions. Unbelievable season. He has been awesome. I mean, he's just taken away half of the field. I was so pumped, man. 3 LSU defensive backs made first team All-Pro. Trey White, Jamal Adams, Tyrann Mathieu. How awesome was that? Half of the All-Pro secondary went to LSU. Half of the first team All-Pro secondary went to LSU. So good. Craig, good behind the scenes AFR video production write-up. Yeah, so that was Barrett Sports Media, and that was done several months ago, Craig. And they reposted, I guess, they're reposting like a best of sort of thing from 2019. So they reposted that. But yeah, I was happy to do that interview. I forget when they did it, but it was basically about us being on TV and how it's changed the radio show now being on TV. I tweeted the link, or retweeted the link. So it's on Twitter if you want to go check it out. Hey, Margaret Reed, good morning. Anthony Williams, do you see LSU making the NCAA tournament this year? Yes. I think you're only going to have probably 5 teams from the SEC make it. I think the league is down this year. There's no question. But I do think that's going to benefit LSU in the respect that they're going to be able to win 11, 12 games in conference, and that should put them right there on the bubble. I wish they had better success in the pre-conference. I wish they had got more of the wins against VCU or Utah State. If they'd done that, I think it would be a no-brainer at this point. But the win over Liberty was a big deal. They're sitting there at 8 wins right now. You get to 11 or 12 in conference. You're right there at 19 or 20 going into the SEC tournament. You win a game or two there. Yeah, I think you punch your ticket. But yes, I do think they will. Steve Menard, morning, Matt. I would be very interested to hear some of the interviews you do for other media outlets. Is there a good way for us to find that content? A good question, Steve. If you're on Twitter, I would go search my name, at Matt Moscone on my handle, because those stations will generally tweet me or include my handle in a tweet whenever I'm coming up on their show, or whenever they publish a link after I've been on. Usually they'll include my handle, and I try to retweet them all. But there's plenty of them. Let's see. Jason Aguilar. So yesterday I was on in Fort Myers, Florida. The show is called Miller and Moulton. It's a morning show on the Fox Sports affiliate in Fort Myers, Florida. So if you go search that, you can go search Miller and Moulton, from Friday, and I was on with them yesterday. We talked Saints and we talked LSU Clemson. Jason Aguilar, Bryce Young decommitted from USC, is going to Alabama. Well, that sucks. Not really looking forward to seeing that guy. James Pittman, Mark Parent, good morning. Damon Rando, good morning from North Carolina. Curious if you've heard anything about ticket prices. Are season holders paying $1,300 to $3,000? I guess it depends where you are in the building. I thought face was in the 500 range. I'm sure it depends where you are in the dome, but that 3,000 seems excessive. That's probably secondary market. Sean Kelly, Carl the Cat, good morning. Pete Giardino. Okay. Mark Allen, Brian Penton. Does LSU have the most natties in all sports? No, it's probably UCLA and Stanford, because you got to remember, LSU doesn't participate in as many sanctioned NCAA sports. And I know LSU's got a ton in track, which bumps them up. Let's see, most NCAA championships. Let's see. Here we go. Let's find out. So Stanford is first. UCLA is second. USC is third. Oklahoma State is fourth. Penn State fifth. Texas sixth. Arkansas seventh. North Carolina eighth. And LSU ninth. Stanford has 126 national championships. UCLA has 118. USC has 107. Oklahoma State 52. Penn State 51. Texas 47. Arkansas 47. North Carolina 45. LSU 43. So LSU is the most of any team in the SEC. But again, that's Stanford has won like fencing and equestrian national championships, and LSU doesn't even have those teams. You know what I mean? So that's a big part of why their number is so much bigger. Let's see. Y'all please hit the share if you've not done so yet. AJ Holland. Evans' articles continue to portray him as Père Pardue. Maybe. And it looks like he's signed with Georgia. It sounds like he already signed his letter of intent with Georgia, the running back out of Houston, Zach Evans. So looks like you're not going to get him, and even worse, he's going to be in the SEC. But chances are you're not going to play him. So unless they end up in the SEC championship game. David Furr, what do you feel? What do you get on Tua's decision Monday? Gone. It would be stupid for Tua to return. I mean, he'll be a top 10, probably a top 5. He will probably be the third pick in the draft. After Burrow and Chase Young, I think Tua will be the third pick in the draft. Kirk Peterson, Brian Penton, Andrew Bayer, Corey Gotro, Robert Gremio, Frank Perniciaro, good morning. Jacob Doyle, Kerry Hughes, what's up, y'all? AJ Holland, prayers for y'all today. That's a spectacular venue for celebrating her life. It's always very difficult to see people that you care about very, very sad. So I just know there's going to be a lot of that today, because there will be a lot of friends and colleagues and coworkers and people who just know and love Carly, and it's just gonna be a very emotional day. So, but I'm honored to be going, and they asked the families asked me and Mike Detillier to do the readings at Mass today. Mike and I did the readings. Carly and Steven had asked Mike and I to do the readings at their wedding. So the family asked us to do the readings today as well. So I'm honored to do that. And I know Mike is as well. Andrea Mumford, what's up, cuz? Steven, and I'm sure Debbie's there as well. But Erica's still sleeping, so probably no ASCII Rock today. But if she wakes up, we'll try to do it. Kenny Boudreau, good morning. The Lakers has big leads several times. Pelicans made a bunch of runs to get back in the game. They're finally playing to the won't bow down mission statement. I'm down with that. I didn't expect them to win out there, though. They could win today in Sacramento, though. Hey, and Sharon, good morning. Jason Meigs, good morning, or Miguez. You've never told me if it's Meigs or Miguez. Brandon DeVille, that's ULL, the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Coach Billy Napier turned down the Mississippi State job, dude. The thing I don't understand is how people think that that's hard to believe. I mean, if I'm Billy Napier, and if Napier, on the Saban tree, first head coaching job, having success at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and is going to be a sort of in-demand coach, why would you take the Mississippi State job? I wouldn't take that job. I mean, take a job where you can win, where they're not going to fire a coach who goes 7-5. You know what I mean? Maurice Coleman, good morning. Donald Amy, good morning. Michael Castello, I hope the Saints-Packers game is the early game next week. It could get very cold if it's the late game. It'll be very cold either way. But I did look up the temperature, high of 33 in Green Bay. And I think it was Eric Hart who posted this last week and made me go look it up, or this week. Next Saturday, the forecast for Green Bay, or Sunday, is like 32, 33, with like a 40% chance of snow. So we'll see how the forecast changes over the next week. But Saints got to take care of business tomorrow, which I think they will. But going to Green Bay, it'll be cold. But the thing that I was fearful of was, 8 degrees with a minus 20 wind chill and 4 feet of snow, which looks like that's not going to happen. So thankfully. Andrew, I have a lot of questions about which guys will leave for the draft. Just to name a few. Queen, Phillips, Stevens, Vincent Jr. All very good questions. My assumption would be that of that group you mentioned, Jacoby Stevens would be the most likely to leave. There's always a surprise both ways. Like last year, doggone it, the nose tackle. Somebody posted, you know what I'm talking about. Oh man, somebody posted. What was his name? The nose tackle who left early last year. Somebody's gonna post it. Anyway, Alexander, thank you, Ed Alexander. Ed Alexander was the surprise, right? Leaving early. So, like, you always tend to get one of those where you're like, really? So that's going to happen again because it happens every year where there's one that leaves and you're like, ah. So who is that? I don't know. But you never know what motivates or what inspires certain decisions. And, you know what I mean? Like, I know I've shared this before, but it's like Michael Ford, for example. Michael Ford hated school. He did not want to go to school. So people are like, why is he leaving early? He get a bunch of carries. Like, Michael Ford was like, as soon as he could be done with school, he was done with school. You know what I mean? So it's like, why come back when you might not even be able to keep yourself eligible? So like, you just never know what motivates people. I know I've told you about the Kevin Minter before. You know, Kevin, who interned with us, when he made his decision, he's like, I've watched my mom struggle her whole life. She's not doing it anymore. You know, I can provide for her now. I'm going to do it. So, like, who's going to fault that kid? You know, could he have benefited from another? Maybe. But you just never know what motivates people's decisions. Ed Alexander had a bunch of knee problems. And I think for him, he was like, man, what if I come back and get hurt again? I might have no chance. And that's why he went undrafted, was because he couldn't pass physical. So I should say couldn't pass physical, but when he went through a medical exam, he got red flagged, so nobody was going to draft him. So you take a flyer, put him on in the training camp, see if he can make a team. So anyway, Amy Carmona, good morning. Kenny Boudreau, college basketball as a whole is wide open. Upsets are happening every day, so I like LSU's chances of making noise in March. I do too. I think this is a team that keeps getting better. You've got a good core from a year ago. You're working in so many new players that are going to figure out as the season goes along how to play together, and will continue getting better. What are the chances Jefferson and Clyde return for next year? That's Joseph Babineau. I would put it at 1% on both of them. I mean, look, Justin Jefferson's being projected in some mock drafts as a top 15 pick. Like, the third receiver taken in the draft behind Judy and CeeDee Lamb. I mean, if that's the case, come on. You go. And then Clyde, I think, has already made his decision as well. So I don't know if the hamstring injury affected any of that, but I doubt it. I think Clyde's already made that decision. It's not to say that you can't change your mind, but I think he's already made that decision. He's going to go. Jason Rivas, good morning. Can we wait to start War 3 after January the 13th? What's War 3? I don't know what that is. Jason Rivas, what's up? Jacob Doyle, whoop, get out of here, bro. Oh man, Arkansas guy. That's Arkansas guy from Arkansas guy from sports trivia back in the day. Oh yeah, my bad. I said LSU is number one. Arkansas is. It's because all the track ones. It's like same with LSU. LSU got 20 national championships in track. Let's see. Brittany Delahousse, good morning. Brittany, I don't know if your dad told you. I saw him at the Peach Bowl on Saturday. Came and said hey, and he brought this up. It was so odd. So Brittany and I went to elementary school together at MBS, and then had obviously a lot of same friends. And on Y2K, like New Year's Eve '99, going into the year 2000, we were like our whole group of friends. We were at a party at Brittany's house for Y2K. And it was so funny because with Y2K, there was all this fear, like the world was going to end, like computer systems were going to go offline. Like we all went outside, like, all right, are all the street lights going to go out? Are we going to hear explosions? Like what's going to happen? and like it's midnight and like nothing happened. So he's kind of what about our lives? Anyway, but it was good to see your dad. Let's see. Kevin Gleason, LSU can build fences. Okay. Andrew, did you already discuss His Majesty coming out again saying he will be back? Guess the Lords are going to cover him in all his glory. We've not discussed it here, but Dylan Moses is going to return to school. Again, I have no problem with his dad and Dylan making sure they do their due diligence on that insurance policy. You know, if you can collect on it, I mean, that's the prudent thing to do. Like, make sure that it's the reason you have an insurance policy. If there's a claim to be made, you can collect on that insurance policy. Do it. And if you have an option for next year, whatever, like, I totally get it. It's the examining and exploring that option is the right thing to do. It's just that the letter that Edward Moses wrote was absurd, calling himself a trust protector of the royal crown, calling Dylan Moses His Majesty, referring to Lloyds as Lords of London. I mean, if I'm a kid in the Alabama locker room, I am mocking him for the rest of it. Like, you know, His Royal Highness. I mean, I'm calling Dylan Moses, you know, Your Majesty for the rest of his time at Alabama. If I'm in that locker room. So Chris Keller, Dylan is returning to school. He made that announcement yesterday that he is returning to school. Travis McGraw, what's up, my dude? Todd Dupuy, good morning, Matt. Heartbreaking to hear Mike D breakdown on AFR Thursday. Yeah, man. Everybody's had. You enjoy talking about, you know, the fun stories and the good times and some of those memories, and simultaneously the gravity of the situation, the awareness that the person is not here anymore, is heavy, man. There's no doubt. Carly and Mike were very close to. Let's see. I saw Napier turned down even interviewing with Mississippi State. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want that job. Dale Broussard, there's a chance we lose our entire starting offensive line to the draft. I don't think so, Dale. I don't think, I don't think any of them go. Damian Lewis is a senior, so he's gone. Deculus will be back. I'm almost certain Cushenberry is going to return. I know he'd be a fifth-year guy. Does he want to play a fifth year at college? We'll see. But and maybe some of these guys elect to go out on a high note. McGee is a senior, but I think Ed Ingram will be back, especially after missing all of last year and a portion of this year. Like, he still has a lot to prove. And then Sadiq, having missed half the season, I'm certain he'll be back as well. So you could, but I don't think so. Trivia Carter, am I blocked? Trivia, you're not blocked. Trivia, I don't know what's going on, man, because you've said a couple of times that I haven't seen, you know, that you've been commenting. I see the "Am I blocked" comment right there, but that's the first one I've seen today. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's a setting that you have on. Maybe it's a setting that you have on your Facebook. I don't know what to tell you, man. But that's it shows on their top fan, and I see that comment. But if you've been commenting before, man, that's the first one I saw. So sorry about that, man. Billy Bob Thornton, y'all crazy. You should do a show on the draft eligible guys and what you think they'll do. I could do that, Andrew, but you know what, man? I don't want to guess. Like, I'm just not into guessing. I would rather know. That's why I'm comfortable telling you about Justin Jefferson and Clyde, right? Like, I've already had enough conversation with people that it's like that decision's been made for those two guys. So, you know, but all the other ones, yeah, it would just be guessing. I mean, I wouldn't mind like talking to Mike D about where he has draft grades for all these players, and that's perfectly fine. And I'd do that. But just guessing it's just what it is, just guessing. You know, I don't think there's a ton of value in that. Randy Bouquet, good morning. Michael Lanier, good morning. AJ, so that 1% means there's a chance. It's because I learned long ago in this business, AJ, you don't speak in absolutes. And I'll tell you when I learned that lesson. Was in 2007 when LSU played Kentucky. LSU beats Florida in that great game, the Hester fourth down game. And the next week they had to go play at Kentucky. And I said on air, I was doing the fastest hour with Josh at the time on the score 12-10. And I said on air that week, there is zero chance, the way I said, there is zero chance LSU goes and loses at Kentucky this week. Because they had just gotten the number one ranking and they beat Florida and all that stuff. And I said zero chance. And of course LSU loses in 3 overtimes. I learned early, don't speak in absolutes, because if you can't control it, and so I'll give Clyde and Justin Jefferson returning 1%. Morning, Matt from West Houston. Great time to be a Tiger. What's up, Carlton Cisco? Good morning, Ben Giat. Trivia Carter, you're not blocked, Trivia. I see you there again. Brian, and I've never blocked anybody, Trivia. Just so you know, like I don't block people. BMO, what's up, Brian Moscona? I was watching Sports Center the other night and I saw your St. Thomas More commercial. Great visibility, man. Craig Duca, good morning. Adam Tower, what's up, man? Moses family trying to get a reality show like the Bball family? Ooh, they might do it. I don't know. Lowell Cormier, good morning from North Dakota. Lowell, I got to thank you, man. I was hoping I would see you pop on here. I got your package. Lowell, you have to explain to me the significance behind, but Lowell sent me 2 lapel pins, so one for me and one for Drew. But I need you to explain the significance of them to me, Lowell. But I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for being thoughtful, for thinking about us, and for sending those. I have them, but I'd love for you to explain the significance. So thank you again, man. Sincerely grateful. Brian Leday, good morning. Trivia Carter, how many? I'm seeing you now, Trivia. Ulan, you think Jerry Jones is going to try to buy out Peyton's contract? No. Ulan, I think we've walked down that road too many times. I mean, this is Sean Payton's organization as much as anybody's, and he'll be in New Orleans for as long as he wants to be. Mrs. Benson wants him in New Orleans, just like Tom Benson did, and he, as long as Breeze is, he ain't going nowhere. If he were going to leave for Dallas, man, that opportunity would have presented itself before now, and Sean's not leaving. Let's see. Everett email, good morning. PK Smith, me too. Are you saying I haven't been seeing your comment? Look, I sit here and I look at every comment on the feed. So Trivia, I see you now. PK Smith, I see you now. So if I've been missing you before, apologies, but I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know if Facebook filters the comments to where it like only shows me some, but I read what pops up on my feed. Craig, I like how you say the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. It never gets old. Well, you know, Craig, like if they're going to keep calling themselves something they're not, then I'm just going to keep calling them what they are. Great t-shirt just now. My sister gave me this. It's obviously in the AFR Open and one of my favorite movies of all time, Anchorman, and I love that scene. And the funny thing is when people hear the AFR Open and it's like, do you know who I am? I'm kind of a big deal. The irony of the scene is that he's being rejected. Like he's making a pass at Veronica Corningstone and she's like rejecting him in a cold-hearted manner. And he's like, do you know who I am? I'm kind of a big deal. And she's just like keeps stuffing him in his face. It's so like the irony of it is like he's trying to talk about how big of a deal he is while he's being rejected. So that's why I love it. It's actually the counter opposite of what you think. Like it's not being conceited. It's actually like taking a shot at yourself, which I think is kind of cool. Anyway, is Clyde back to 100%? Yes, practicing with no limitations. So they're not going to let him be a full contact participant until the game, which is the right thing to do. But he's full go, no limitation. Jamie Levine, good morning. Kevin Gleason, Scott Soche, Mark Demlin, good morning. Brandon, people going to the national championship game, probably best to get to the stadium early. Oh yeah, so announced yesterday that the president will be at the national championship game. So if you have ever been to an event where the president is in attendance, because everybody goes through metal detectors and heightened security. Like, it takes a long time to get in. So if you are going to the game, plan accordingly. It is going to take you a long time to get in the stadium. Dale Bruce, sorry, am I blocked? You're not blocked, Dale. I see you. Nobody's blocked. You can control it if you dress out. If you dress out, just say dress out. Mark Allen, watching grown men lose their minds on young men's decisions on where to go to college and if to leave early is always funny and sad. I kind of agree, Mark. I mean, I people want their teams to do well, and I understand that. And personnel decisions do matter. But I guess I just always believe, like, when it comes to recruiting, LSU is going to sign 25 really good players. And we always accentuate the players you got and try to diminish the players you don't get. So it's like, you sign this kid, he's going to be the best lineman ever. And if this kid decides to commit somewhere else, then you start to point out all of his flaws. I just say, man, sign 25 really good players, make sure you address needs, and then coach them up when they get here. You know? Tiffany Monette, good morning from Houston. Excited to head to NOLA for the big game next week. Good deal. I'll be there. Josh Son, I'll be there on a press pass though. Josh Sonier, good morning. Bet is blocked. He's never. Dwayne has never watched. That I know of anyway. Morning Scone. Plant Machine Works. What's up, Travis? Let's see. When's the last time the president went to 2 LSU games in the season? Probably never. How early have to get to the Dome on the 13th? I'll tell you, man, I would get in line an hour before kickoff. I mean, it depends on how early you want to be in there, but I would get in. I would, to give myself, I would make sure I'm in line an hour before kickoff. Does your office smell of mahogany and lavender? That's not the line. Hey, bud. Buy big truck. I have many leather-bound books. My office smells of rich mahogany. Hey, babe. He slept really good.
Did he? He got about 8:15. We've been laying there about 30 minutes. Just
but he went right back to sleep when he got in the bed, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I said, no, you go to bed. Yeah. I think that was it.
Little boy. With little puppies on his jam.
Where are you going? You tell me where he's going.
Yes, I'm taking Daddy's word to ride the elevator. Can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? Drew, can I have a hug? Hey, can I have a hug?
Aww.
Boy. My little boy. Oh, my little boy. Oh, my little boy. My little boy. My little boy.
And he woke up happy. He was just laying there with a baby cuddled up.
And he has poo.
Oh, does he?
Oh, yes. How do you not smell, like...
I don't notice it a lot.
It's poo. Like, how do you not smell
It smelled
poo?
like coffee when I thought it was coffee. That was your coffee.
This is oppressive.
I'm a little good at I'm a little stubby too. I can't smell good.
Oh, God.
I'll go change. Come on, let's go change your diaper.
Oh, you can go change your diaper with Mommy.
Invent your belly.
Okay.
Come on.
Hey, listen. You are going to vent your belly. And then change your diaper. And then get dressed. And then after Dad's show, Dad and Drew will go for a ride in Daddy's car to Daddy's work. And ride the elevator.
Okay.
Are you so excited? Okay, go see Mommy. Move into your belly and change your diaper and get dressed.
Vent your belly. Change your diaper. Come on.
All right.
Come on. Go Daddy's work.
Let's see. Trivia. Do you think Dylan Moses would have made a big difference in this game this season? Because these Bama fans swear up and down they would have beaten us because he would have took away water. Trivia. LSU scored 46 points on Alabama. 46 points. One linebacker, as good as he may be, is not going to negate 46 points, the offensive day that LSU had. So that's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Dustin Cruel, Hal Jubin, ask them how they enjoyed the Citrus Bowl, by the way. Kevin Gleason, put on the uniforms. We have 3 strong running backs coming back. It's really crucial for us to sign a running back in this class. I think so, because I don't know for sure that you're going to get all 3 guys back. You know, one of them could leave. I'm not saying I know anything, but it's possible. Glenn is actually doing. I don't think so. Bruno Van Moore, future of Curry with LSU's 2 younger running backs. Good question. See how the championship game goes. See who the number 2 guy in is. Isaac Landry, Matt Dabo must have been the kid nobody noticed. The kid that has his ball taken away. He's doing what he can, and he's doing what he can to try to. He's doing what he can to try to motivate his team, but it is tiring. It's annoying. Trivia: Ask E-Rock what's for breakfast. Probably a smoothie. I don't think we're going to do Ask E-Rock because I need to get rolling. Charlie Cavell, Pete Giardino, Matt doesn't block people. His Majesty Drew does. True. Drew would ban him. I'd get these messages from time to time. Hey man, am I blocked? I haven't seen your stuff. And I'd go look. I'm like, sure enough, Drew's blocking people. That's when he used to hit the phone, but because on the phone, on the scroll, you'd see the comment scroll. So if he would like touch one of the comments, then your profile would come up, and one of the top buttons is block user, and sometimes he would hit that. Scott Champagne, good morning. Josh Long, Matrix, poo for coffee. All right, this is gross. Sorry, we're not going there. Craig, do we stroll into Tennessee and remind everyone we're the defending SEC champs? Craig, I think so. I do. I think that's also maybe a bit of a homer pick, but I think what LSU did defensively against Liberty was super encouraging. Tennessee is not a great offensive team. LSU averages about 15 points a game more than Tennessee. So I think LSU can score and maybe have a good enough defensive day against this Tennessee team. Without Grant Williams, who was just dominant in the post. Admiral Schofield was so good from the outside. I do like LSU in this game. I think LSU is going to be able to go flat, just outscore them. I do. Lenny. Easton, we said Drew is cute in his PJs. Oh, man. We got to see y'all, man. We'll see y'all at the park, I'm sure, soon enough. The weather gets nicer. Kevin Gleason, Drew makes my eyes leak. I can't understand how this happens. Mine too, man. Trivia. Hey, Erica.
What?
Ask E-Rock, would you rather be in 30 to 20 degrees or ride out a hurricane?
What?
Would you rather be in 20 degree weather or ride out a hurricane?
30 to 20 degree weather, easy.
30 to 20 degree weather. Stephen Beach, good morning. Andrew Bear, who could leave? Didn't think any of them were draft eligible other than Clyde. Justin Jefferson's draft eligible. Phillips, Queen, Fulton. Fulton and Delpit are both gone. Chasson is likely gone as well. Got a lot of players, man. Let's see. John Boudreaux, good morning. Hey, Trisha Brown, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Jeff, time to feed the masses. Have a great one, bro. There you go, Jeff. Have a great day, man. How many bottles do you have on the shelves back there? I need to play catch up. I'm way behind. I think I counted whenever we when I redid this on New Year's Day. I think I have like 125 total there. My cabinet. We have another bar over there. I think I have like 125. But man, that's years of collecting and accumulating, you know. Kevin Gleason, remember folks, no ER, Brock. I appreciate Kevin. Kevin is like the biggest Brock fan. I appreciate it so much. It's true. Bypass the ER. They've got their after-hours clinic at Brock. That's at 8080 Bluebonnet. If you're not familiar, it's inside the Surgical Specialty Center on Bluebonnet near Perkins. So if you're at the mall headed like toward Burbank, you cross Perkins, and then boom, on the right, you'll see Surgical Specialty Center, Brock. Like you walk in the main doors, you were looking straight at Brock. Go in there. And like them. They're tagged in this post, so like them right there. Excuse me. Craig, I really like this team. Wade usually starts slow, makes adjustments in time for SEC play. I'm optimistic for the season. I am too, Craig. John Boudreaux, I'm disappointed. Don't see the Bears helmet behind you anymore. It's up there now, John. It's still in the office. I'm with you, though. But that needed to happen. That needed to happen to organize all my stuff and not have the glut of bottles like falling off the shelf and everything. Yeah. Dylan Landry, good morning. Lenny Moss, E-Rock. Alexa, order me a flat of Pepsi. That will never happen. Charlie Cavell, yes, the Dabo Opie Taylor deal has grown tired. Lenny said, Alexa, order me a flat of Pepsi.
Alexa's like, what is that? Those are the best strawberries you ever picked out, right?
Are they good?
Yeah, they're perfect.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Alexa doesn't know what Pepsi is. It doesn't exist.
Okay. And you just said the word. Who's behind you? Christian Geiger, good morning. Kevin Gleason, you're only 37. Yep, 37. July 8th, 1982. Ryan Moranto, good morning. Josh Richard, Brock is awesome. They did my ACL meniscus a while back. There you go, man. They are awesome people. They're the best. I mean, they are. Hi, bud. Good morning. You want to say hi to Dad's show? You say hi to Dad's show?
Come on, Drew. Let's change your diaper. Get dressed.
How long does it take to consume 125 bottles? Does it go bad? No, that's the great thing, Dale. It never goes bad. And, I mean, the thing is, like, when you have this...
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Drew. You know, I have favorites, and then you have some that are like special occasion things, and then some is just like things you want to sip and try, and really just what are you in the mood for? And then if I ever have people over, I can offer them literally anything they want. I can do flights or tastings. I enjoy it.
Boy.
It's just it's a hobby, you know? It's a hobby like if you're a hunter, you're into firearms, like you have 100 guns. Well, why do you need that many? Well, you don't, but you collect and you shoot at different times, or you know, if you collect baseball cards or whatever. You know, some people collect coins. And I don't know. All right, y'all. I think we are done.
Hi, Daddy.
Ryan Shalesi, good morning. Hi, Drew B. Sheila Strickland, I was a sophomore in high school when you were born. It's all right, Sheila. Ain't nothing but a thing. Just age and time, life. So. Brian Myers, good morning. Alexa, go to Walgreens. Alexa, go to Walgreens. All right, y'all. Et tu, Joel. I'm glad we got it in. We're just about to wrap up. Josh Richard, how many do you not like, if any? That's a good question, Josh. So, sometimes I might be gifted a bottle that I don't like. And I will tell you that early on, when I was just getting into whiskey and I was starting to grow my collection, I would take recommendations. And I did buy bottles that I ended up not liking. And some I've given away and some have just been stashed in the back. But I'll tell you this much. I would always recommend this to anyone who is just starting. If you want to start a whiskey collection or if you're starting to get into it, I would always, 100% of the time, taste something before you buy it. And some places have bottles that are open. And you say, hey, would you mind if I try this? Or maybe they have one that's open, you could smell it, get the nose. Or go to a bar that has a big selection. Go to Oliver Twist. Go to any of these places in town, wherever you live, that have a big selection. And get an ounce, try it, see if you like it. If you like it, then buy a bottle. But that's one of the mistakes I made early on was, man, I went and, I would say like, okay, I want to try something new. They said, well, what about this? And so I'd buy it. And then I'd try it and be like, God, it sucks, And some of them were expensive too. I mean, not, $100, but, it's more than I'd spend on a bottle of something I didn't like. You know what I mean? Anyway. Sheila, I can't drink Jack Daniels. Then don't drink something way better because Jack Daniels isn't good. I mean, you can pour Jack Daniels in a cup with Coke or Sprite or something and tie one on if you want to do that. But if you just want something just a sip, that ain't the one to sip, Sheila. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'm done. I got to bounce. Y'all have an awesome day. Shout out to Brock as always. They're tagged in this post. Please like their page. And we will see you tomorrow for more. Oh, by the way, I think I'm going to publish a special edition of the Locked On LSU podcast. Hester and I yesterday were recording some content to be used for a championship preview show. And so it was just he and I talking. They gave us the talking points they wanted us to discuss. So he and I chatted for about 30 minutes. Going back to Ed taking over for that first game in 2016 as the interim coach against Missouri. And took it all the way up into this championship. We talked about everything. We talked about Matt Canada. We talked about Ensminger. We talked about Burrow, the offense, the game against Clemson. I mean, we talked about a ton. So I think I'm going to publish that. It was just meant to give them some clips to use for the TV show. But I think I'm going to publish the whole thing because it came out, I think, really good. So anyway, I think I'm going to publish it today. And hopefully y'all enjoy it, man. So, all right. Y'all have an awesome day. We'll see you.